And now when we refresh, all being well, it'll go, and then
it just goes. I really like it.
Please add that sound effect.
Yes. Good Monday morning. How do I do this? Jesus Christ! And now I got all self-conscious and things.
You got me watching you. It's like, right. This is how the sausage gets made. This is fun to watch.
Good Monday morning. Today I have Paul Lewis with me. We are doing some type of collaboration. Not exactly sure what. But first, today's sponsor is Brilliant. By now, you know that Brilliant is a problem-solving website that teaches you to cheat. A problem-solving website that teaches you how to think like a computer scientist. If you're interested in finally learning about machine learning and linear algebra and all that stuff behind it, all that other math, then Brilliant is for you. Instead of listening passively to video courses, which a lot of sites do, Brilliant offers these interactive challenges with gradually increasing difficulty, which is really nice to deal with. I keep harping on about how using Brilliant is kind of like playing a game with this gradual sense of progression. It's very satisfying. Use Brilliant. Use brilliant.org/funfunfunction when you sign up to tell them that you came from here. Also, if you are one of the first 200 to sign up using that link, you get 20% off if you get the annual subscription. Do check them out after the video. That link is also in the episode description. We talked about like how you should give me some kind of coding assignment.
Yeah, and when we spoke about it, you said that you'd never done a web component before. And I thought, I mean, that feels like you should do that just at least once in your life, even if you don't do it all the time.
I don't know. Like, I don't even know what they're for.
Oh, well, it turns out I've got a video on that. No, I mean, I think...
Well, we'll link it in the... Hang on. Is it... Fuck, I never remember which direction it is.
One of the corners.
Yes, that corner.
I think in this case, you could treat it as a leaf node. Like, say you're doing React or Preact or something like that, and you want some kind of leaf at the end instead of a div. You actually want a kind of a reusable thing. So I think there's no point in making anything that's actually useful. That would seem silly. But what I thought we could do, since you've not done this before, is we could create a custom element, use Shadow DOM, and inside the Shadow DOM, use a slot. And I thought the idea we could pursue is whatever you put inside the element, the custom element, say it's an image or something like that, whatever it is you put in, we will make it spin up from a scale 0 to scale 1 and like rotate, so it's like a
okay, nice.
So maybe grab your fun function logo, and as I say, we'll just drop that into a page and then see if we can make that work.
All right, cool. Like a PNG.
Yeah, sure. Hey,
logo.
Fun forum big.
Oh no, that's the fun forum. Okay, but let's keep that. That's good, like Patreon promotion.
Fine.
I picked the wrong one, but like...
Interesting. I don't see it on my side, that ping, but I'm sure it's there.
All right, so you don't... you can't see like what happens in Visual Studio.
You just see transparent. You just see the kind of the checkered background. I'm sure it's there. So that's...
All right.
Do you need to proxy your stuff across so I can see what you're building?
Yeah, hang on. Like... Live, how does this work? Live share server, enter the TCP port to share with all participants. So I need a web server to do this. Like normally I do everything in create React app. Do you have any like go-to thing that you work with when you just need like a web server to share?
Yeah, HTTP-server, like npm install HTTP-server.
Oh yeah, all right. Create incorrect server, npm install. Do I do that globally?
Yeah, I would do, yeah.
HTTP-server.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then you do the npm dance, and you just there you go.
Oh, okay. And then just HTTP server.
Yep.
In the directory. Okay, cool. 8080. And then I go live share server, and then I enter the TCP port 8080. Provide a display name for shared server. Fine. All right. Now you should be able to just go to localhost 8080 on your machine.
If that works, that is absolute magic.
It is, right? Did it?
Actually, yeah, it works. Oh, wow, look at this. I'm just going to... Yeah, I've got the Fun Forum logo. That's amazing. Sold.
Yeah. Like, I should, like, the thing is, I'm trying to get, like, the Visual Studio Code team to, like, sponsor this goddamn channel because we're giving you so much good exposure. And they're like, we don't really have to because he's doing it anyway. Like, yeah, I am, I suppose. It's so good. All right. So that's progress. We have a web server, and I can do things in this. And I can probably do like an HTML file here as well.
That would seem like a good start. Yes.
Like, this is going to be like index HTML. Boom. Then like type of HTML tags. There we go.
Wow.
You're
doing that by hand. I have the HTML, then like the autocomplete version that's like, poof, there's a sample, the snippet.
You know, like...
Did you switch off snippets?
The thing is, like, I'm this tooling alcoholic. If I start doing tooling, I do only tooling and no work.
Oh, I see.
Like, I recognize the utility of tooling. It's just that I can't deal with it. It's my personality. It's not the fault of the tooling. It's that I'm a horrible person.
Okay, so you've got your HTML. It's a start. Go for it.
All right. So, and you're talking about like we want to place this logo here somewhere, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess that would be a start. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. I forgot what it was called. It's FF4 big. Jesus. Oh, it actually autocompletes. There we go. Okay. There we go.
All right, let's have a look. Yay! Okay, cool. That works for me.
All right. So, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna turn this into web components?
Yeah. So I was thinking, what you'd want to do is that image there. You want to wrap it in a custom element of some description. So, like, I don't know. Spin element or something like that. So the idea is you wrap that image in your element and magic will happen. As in, whatever you put inside, we'll just put in a slot and then we'll make everything spin.
Okay.
So I guess step one is just wrap it in a custom element.
All right, fine. So how do I do that?
Well, start typing, pick a name. You got to pick a name. The name, by the way.
All right, so we just pick so I would call this, is this what you mean? Like turning it into something called a logo?
Yeah, so the two things. One is it'll have to be lowercase, and the other thing is it has to have a dash in its name.
Oh, okay. So perhaps FFF logo, something like that.
And the reason
why the dash?
Yep. So the reason is if you were to look at the prototype of the element, it would say HTML unknown element if it's not got a dash in it, because no platform provided element has a dash in its name, whether it's like select or div or p or whatever.
Oh.
So in order to know that it's a custom element or going to be a custom element, the agreement was it's got to have a dash in its name somewhere. This is the most bonkers part. Actually, no, I'd say that's the most bonkers part. It's not the most bonkers part. There's plenty of bonkers around the whole place, but that's part of it. So yeah, this would work. So I guess now you want to drop that image inside that. So you want to move that to like line 4 or whatever. All
right. So I kind of love stuff like that because everybody's like, whenever everybody's like, oh, JavaScript has these warts and Java has these warts and C++ has these warts, but look at this new language that I'm coding in, how amazing and clean it is. Oh, it's just clean because it's new, dude.
Yeah, give it time. Yeah. So now you're going to have to start defining what FFF logo actually means. So for that, you're going to need your JavaScript.
Okay, cool. So, do we do this in a new file or do we keep... No, I'm going to do a script tag for now.
Are
you okay? Yeah, cool. Are we okay with that?
Well, if this is your code, you've got to maintain it.
Fair enough. All right, I'm gonna change this to 2 spaces instead. Oh no! Oh god! You see my problem here? Like I'm procrastinating already.
No, you see you're
like
fearing.
I'm literally 2 minutes into a project, and
you're like, I don't know how to define my elements. I'm scared of this process. Let me just do something that I can control for me right now.
Yes, exactly.
But it's a growth opportunity on camera. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
breathing. All right. Script tag. So how do I do this? I need to define the custom element.
Yeah. Do you know the API?
I do not at all.
Okay. So what you do is you do custom elements.define. So custom lowercase and then capital E on elements.
.define.
Yeah, define. And then you've got to give it a name. So that instead of looking for the name of the tag, so this will be your FFF-logo.
Is this a function? All right.
Yeah.
So
you're basically saying when you find a tag of this type,
yeah.
Now I'd like you to instantiate the following thing. So you've got to give it a class in the second part.
Okay.
So you don't even have to name the class. You can be like class extends HTML element if you so desire at this point.
Okay, so it's fun. So something like this. A class like that.
Yeah, that will work. You're just going to need to define that class somewhere.
There we go. And okay, cool. And we need a constructor, I suppose.
Yep. So straight away, sorry. One thing I didn't mention there is that you're going to have to extend HTML element.
Oh.
When you're actually. So this is how it knows that you can do all the things you'd want to do, like append child or whatever.
Yep.
So this is kind of interesting now because as soon as this runs in the browser, it's going to be like, okay, I found FFF logo. Here's your thing. So you can even in constructor, if you wanted to test it, you could do like a console log or something that's like, oh, hi, from my logo.
All right, like here?
Yeah.
Log. And we'll go hello from logo. Right, let's refresh. I have no idea. Hang on, we need an inspector here. Like this is a constant problem here, like in these streams. Where do I put the I have not.
Yeah.
Where? There it is. Okay. Function logo is not defined. I suppose that's because I need to move it above. Let's see. Where? There we go. Right there. Try again. And now, must call super. That's.
I forget that all the time. This is one of the moments where I really like TypeScript because TypeScript will be like, by the way, just so you know,
that's nice.
You need to do the super thing. So
yeah, like TypeScript, I would love to use TypeScript if that was what it did. Then it like complains about like weird things that take 8 hours to fix. Yes,
that's the thing. When it works for you, it really works for you. When you're fighting it, going, no, just trust me. Please. That's when it can be a bit challenging. Yeah.
All right, cool. So now we have the hello from logo that is over here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the thing that we want to do, first of all, is we want to create a shadow root. The shadow root is basically the place to contain your gross. It's like the place where you hide the implementation detail of your element.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about because a lot of people here might not be familiar with like the shadow DOM. Can we talk a little bit about what that is and why it exists? Just briefly.
So if you think of something like a video element that you get with the platform, it's got things like the controls inside of it, right? Which are actually elements, like they're DOM elements, buttons and whatnot inside. But when you inspect the element in, say, DevTools or whatever, it's like there's just a video element. So like all the implementation detail and the elements and so on inside are hidden. And that's the way to think of Shadow DOM. It's your way of saying there is some gross, but it's just I'm hiding it so that all you need to deal with is the stuff at the top level, right? The stuff you need to deal with. In this case would be your FFF logo. And if we have stuff like divs or styles or anything that we want to encapsulate inside the element, just for that element, we pop it in the Shadow DOM.
All right, brilliant. Okay, get it.
Cool.
All right, so let's get into it.
So it's just as straightforward, in theory, as being able to say this.attach shadow inside there. Yep.
This dot attach shadow.
And then it's a function, so you need to give it a mode. It's an object, which is no, you don't need to do no, that's it. But you say it's an object that you need to pass it, which will have mode, and then you want to say open. The open and close mode.
Good lord, the autocomplete for this thing is amazing. Like that's normally the autocomplete for Visual Studio is just disturbing and annoying, but here it actually works. I don't know what they did.
I don't know. They do seem to understand this one really well. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So your mode is basically whether or not you can get at the shadow root from outside, which in this case you probably want to do. Just by default, just choose open. There's no reason to close your shadow root necessarily.
Okay, so this is a string.
Yep. So one of the things you're doing here is, if you notice, you're operating against your own instance, which is kind of cool. So that's it. You're done. So you can save that, go check. And if you now look inside of DevTools on the elements side, inside of FF logo, your logo will have disappeared.
Yep.
But you should have shadow root brackets open inside of there.
Oh, so I need to inspect here. Hang on.
Yep.
Let's see. Right. Ooh, this is not a lot of space on my screen. Hang on. Okay, shadow root open. Yeah, I see it.
And you still got the image there, but it's like it's not showing. And the reason is, as soon as you attach a shadow root to an element, you're basically saying, this is the contents of this element. Anything else that was in there before, I don't want there in there anymore.
Oh.
Right? So it's like, just forget what's there, because you can get it back in a moment by putting slots, which we'll talk about in a mo. But it's basically saying, yeah, I have this shadow root. Use that as my kind of reference point for this element, and anything else that's inside it, just get rid of it. You kind of see that with you when you put something inside a canvas element. It will just ignore the contents of a canvas. I think if you start actually drawing in the canvas, it'll be like, yeah, just ignore anything else you put in there, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. So what we need to do is we kind of need to get the image back now from the light DOM and drop it into the shadow root. So the way we do that...
Is that what we use slots for?
That is what we use slots for. So slots is... Because if you imagine now... if sort of fast forward a little bit, inside your shadow root you might have like divs and buttons and everything else.
Yeah.
And what you want to do is you want to put a little placeholder, a little marker inside the shadow root, inside the shadow DOM, to be like, by the way, if you see images or something or whatever you want it from the outside, put it in here. And you can name your slots... But in this case, because we're just going to probably have one slot, we don't need to name it, and it will assume that if there's one slot, that we just want the contents that's on the light dump outside of the element. So your image, we just want that dumped straight into the slot. Okay. So this is where it gets, I think, probably slightly more interesting, because we have to create a template tag or a template element. You can do it inside the JavaScript if you want. It's up to you where you want to do it. I tend to do it outside of the class.
Let's do it outside the class.
Yeah. So you're just
I don't exactly know. I have no basis for my decision. I just felt like
it. You can be completely arbitrary here. I mean, yeah, why not? So yeah, we need a template. So document.createElement template kind of thing.
All right. So let's create. Okay. Then.
Create element. And then
create.
Yeah, and then inside little quotey speech marks.
Yeah.
We want template.
Oh, okay. I get you. Cool. So what do I do? Like, assign that to a variable?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This is fun for me to watch. Yeah, and then you want to monkey with the inner HTML on that. So it's like template.innerHTML equals, and then some HTML. And I guess what we could start with just like slot. That would be a thing to do. Just so as in a quotey quote slot, as in angle brackets.
Right. Oh, okay. I get you.
No.
Like that?
Sorry. Is this a language?
What are you like? Okay, angle brackets.
Yes, yes, those ones. Would you call those angle brackets, or would you call those something else?
I don't know. Yes. The thing is, like, when it comes to English, and it's just that I don't have the connection of like angle brackets and curly brackets in my head. Like, it's usually like you're communicating through chat or something with developers. So often when you communicate around code, you just don't need to use those terms. Right. So it's so rare for me to actually refer to them with English that I just I just call the curly brackets, I just call them squiggly or in Swedish måsvingar, which is like, you know, the the white bird that is horrible. No, it's they always have like their kids. They walk around, and then if you walk close to the kids, the bird starts squeaking and it shits on your head. It lives by the sea.
Seagull.
Yeah, seagull. Yeah, seagull wings. That's what we. Yeah, but that's what you call them in Swedish, for like in the colloquial sense. I have no idea why.
I have no idea why, but I did enjoy your description. That helped an awful lot.
All right.
So we got a slot, and what we want to do is we want to take a copy of the slot from the template and drop it in to the element. So there's two things here. One is that there are two lifecycle callbacks inside of an HTML element or custom element, that we need to use. There's connected callback and disconnected callback.
Okay.
And we don't need anything apart from the connected callback right now. So we're saying when you drop this element into the DOM, I want you to do something. That's what connected callback is for. And I guess at that point, we would copy the template and pop it into the shadow DOM.
So how do you do that? Is it just connected?
Yep. Connected callback. That's it.
I was just guessing. Like, I like APIs that you can just guess, because that means that they are intuitively designed.
Yeah. So my thing with the connected callback and disconnected callback is I normally use them for setting up event listeners and removing event listeners from the element so that it's a little bit clean and tidy. In this case, I guess what we do is we do this.shadow root, because by attaching a shadow, we get this magical property called shadow root that we can now access. So we say this.shadow root dot append child, and then we tell it what we want, which is template.content.clone node true. But we'll get there.
Cool.
I'm doing it all inside my head here. So the thing to do would be to do this.shadow root, and it'll be lowercase s, capital R, append child.
Okay, cool. So and then we append the template.
Yeah, close. So what we need to do is we could try and get the template.content. So
because if we append the template, we want a new instance of the template.
Yeah, so the template itself is like inert HTML. It's not actually useful. You could append it, and it wouldn't do anything. What you want to do is you're kind of reaching inside the template, going, I want whatever you're actually representing, which is template.content. Okay. It's a subtlety, and it trips me up every time.
Oh yeah, of course. Like when I think about it, it makes sense because the template is just a nonsense element. Really.
Right. It doesn't do anything. It's just like this placeholder. The browser, I don't say ignores it, but it doesn't render it, doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, looking at this, I had no idea that you could do this. Like, if I change this to like waffles, would that still be functional, or does template have a special significance?
You can always create element with anything that the browser understands. So like div or p or strong or canvas. You can do that, and the browser understands what template means.
Yeah.
You could also do create element with your custom element name. So you could have done create element fff-logo instead of actually putting it into your HTML. That would have also worked.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So how do I actually do this? I need to reach into the template in HTML and somehow create things.
I mean, it's basically you want template.content or contents. Content, it'll autocomplete for you, I'm sure.
Content.
Now, that will give you that particular instance, the one that you created. And since we've only got one template and we're only using it once, that's fine. But if you wanted to reuse a template across multiple elements, you do clone node here as well. Yeah. So for cleanliness, you leave the original template contents alone, and then you probably want true, which is the recursive flag because it's a function.
Clone node.
Yeah, it's a function. And then inside that, there's a boolean, which is, do you want it to be recursive or not?
Oh, okay.
And so if your template has divs inside of divs inside of divs or whatever, it's like, I don't want a shallow copy. I want a copy of like everything inside there, please.
Is it just me that thinks that these functions that have one argument, which is a boolean, are horrible?
No,
this is just nobody this is just something that people learn and then they have no idea what they. It's just why it would be so much better if the API was like clone node dot recursive. I would like all APIs to be like this. God.
Yeah. I mean, this is the Boolean trap, right? That you see time and time again, where like you say, you just got to remember: does true mean recursive, or is true shallow, or does true mean take out the bins?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yep.
Cool. So, in theory, what we've got here is we've got something that should copy from the template the slot. And what the slot will represent is, hey, if there's anything that's been put inside of this custom element, go fetch it and drop it inside the slot, right?
Yep.
So all being well, when we refresh.
This should do something. All right, it does stuff. All right, let's have a look. Okay, when I'm inspecting this, I'm checking inside the FFF logo.
Yep.
And I see like now the shadow root actually contains, like I can expand that. And I can see like, okay, now I get it. Okay, so the shadow root is the stuff that is inside. It's hidden and not displayed or anything.
Right.
And then I have grabbed the temp. There's a slot here in the shadow root. I did not expect that.
Why not?
Well, you said that slots were stuff that we used to get things out of the shadow DOM. So I kind of like in my mind I figured that slots would be something that I put outside of the shadow DOM.
No, so what we're saying here is inside that shadow root there are markers, there are placeholders where I want to put content from outside the element inside the element.
Oh, all right.
So it's like you could have had some text, or you could have had something. So if you imagine making a custom element that you want to give to somebody else, like a carousel or something, right? And you're going to be like, use my custom carousel element, but what I want you to do is I want you to just drop like a list of images inside it. You need to be able to slot those into your custom elements kind of innards, if you like, and be like, okay, image goes here, text goes here, and so on. So that's what the slots are for. So what it's done is, because it's not a named slot, it's called slot.
Yeah.
And you can give slots names, as I said. It's just going, right, I've got one slot and there is some content inside of FFF logo. So I'm just going to drop that in and assume that everything is as it should be. Now, if you expand slot inside of the shadow root, you'll also see that it's kind of got this little kind of arrow pointing across the image.
Yep, I see it.
It's kind of, I like to think of this as like a symlink. It's not actually there. It's still out in the light DOM.
All right.
Okay, that will matter. Yep. I can either give you the shortcut version here about how to animate this, or we can do what you think is intuitive and see whether you net out at the right answer. And I'm giving you a hint by saying it's more like a symlink, but I don't know if it's going to be enough of a hint. It caught me out when I was playing with this. So,
all right, but like I think that it's more fun when I try to figure out the problem on my own, and you then hint at it.
Okay.
I also like this little thing that you can click reveal in the Chrome Developer Tools, and it actually jumps to the light thing. Like, I mean, with your explanation in mind, like that actually makes sense.
Cool. So the thing now that we want is that we want to be able to pick up whatever's in the slot. Yeah. We want to kind of animate it up, right?
All right. So I guess we do this after we have appended it to the shadow root, and let's go. Like we need to. Okay, we want to get whatever is in the slot, and the slot is in the shadow root. So I guess shadow root dot get element by ID, perhaps. No, we don't have an ID. Get element by name.
So what are you thinking of doing here? Where's your head going in terms of how are you going to call like element.animate, or are you going to do a CSS animation?
Okay, so here's the thing. Animation was not a thing when I started web development. It was like moving things by X, like CSS animations did not exist. Then I started Spotify, which was this place where I basically was I didn't really touch the DOM all that much, or CSS. We had people doing CSS for us, and we were like the senior JavaScript developers, and we were like doing business logic and figuring out like how to do scrolly things. Like animation, didn't really have to do much, to be honest. So I was just thinking about like at this point, I would just grab the element and like just move it by X or something, like just to get started.
Okay. Well, okay.
And he's like, what the fuck? What did I sign up for?
It's so hard.
This is
it
what
is
you're
so
working with, man.
Yeah,
like,
no, and this is the thing. I completely agree with you. It's only because I've spent a lot of my career working with animation that this, for me, it's like this is my backyard. So I kind of get, and I completely understand what you're saying. And I think it's the situation that most people find themselves in, going, there. It feels like, should I use green sock? Should I use CSS animation? Should I just grab it and like set styles? Where does request animation frame sit in all this? Like, help. So I can completely understand it.
But I don't know, like I need to get the slot element to begin with, no? And that's what I'm trying to do. Like I'm just baby steps. So I have this. What happens if I even do this? Let's slot and console log that out.
Yeah, I'm curious as well, actually.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I actually get the slot.
That's good. Now the question is, can you do anything with the slot?
Let's see.
So there is the element.animate API, which you could try here.
All right. So slot dot. Let's just get the image. Query selector. Like, I'm gonna start with this and see if I even get an image.
I'm guessing no. Well,
because this is like, as you said, that this is some kind of reference thingamabob, like a symlink. What?
Because you did
sorry,
images
no.
as string.
I printed a string.
You're going to definitely get an output.
Yeah, if we didn't do pair programming here, like that would have thrown me off for like 20 minutes because I wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah, I noticed it straight away. I thought, it's fine.
All right, so that didn't work. So here's gonna be, here I'm stumped. Like, how would I get to the image?
So this is the thing. I don't think you necessarily want to get the image.
Okay.
You probably want to actually animate the whole logo itself.
All right. So like this.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to. Maybe not even the slot, but the entire thingy.
Yeah, I think you could do like this dot animate.
Oh, yeah, because this is because function logo is the actual element.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
for what
does this has? This has keyframes. Okay, is that what we're working with? Like,
no, it's an array of keyframes. So you just want to pass it an array to begin with.
Oh, so it's not the like that. So now we are animating keyframes.
Yeah, and so here it's like you're doing the CSS style. So you'd be doing like transform scale 0.
Okay.
So it's an object. Each keyframe is an object. Yep. So you're doing great there. And then you do transform.
Transform.
Yep. And then this will be a string, which will be something like scale 0.
Like that.
No, it's again. This is the weirdness of CSS, isn't it? Scale bracket 0.
Parent. Like that bracket 0.
No, the curly ones, the roundy ones. The seagull ones, the raven ones.
That are so hard to make on Mac OS X. Like this is a dangerous thing with Mac OS, is that there is this move for doing it. It's like 3. You have to do. Oh, let's say it's Shift, Alt, and then there's like a parens. And the thing is that I use a Microsoft Sculpt keyboard.
See, on mine it's like Shift 9 or whatever. Shift.
Yeah,
just saying.
It's made for like, and it displays the wrong thing on this keyboard. So I have to keep this like completely in my mind. And sometimes I just forget how to do it. And then I'm screwed because I don't actually like, I've long since forgotten what the combination actually is.
You're just like relying on muscle memory, and if the muscle memory fails, you fail.
Exactly. It's like the pin code you do like at work for like years, and then one day you just like, I have no idea what the pin code is.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's more like scale paren. I mean, it's like it'd be like.
Oh, it's like double.
Like that.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
But with curly brackets.
Curly brackets. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you know the hand maneuver for this one?
No, like should I change it to normal?
Yeah, no, it really
parents,
is normal. No, it's these roundy ones. Yeah.
No, there's no like that is actually on my keyboard.
Oh, that's a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want it like that. Like I've got it right there.
All right, so there we go.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need a second keyframe, which will be like scale 1. So we just need another object with transform inside it, and then scale 1.
All right. So mop like that.
Yep. And then I'm going to get rid of my stuff there. Tidy up, Paul. Tidy up. And then the second parameter for animate is an object which takes a bunch of values like the duration, any delays, the timing function that you want to use. So we just need another object kind of here on line 27.
Yep.
Which is like, so the minimum I think is duration. I think if you just start with duration, and then it's the duration in milliseconds. So you'll be like duration 1000 for 1 second.
Right. So like that.
Yeah. Now this may or may not work. We should find out.
All right. Brilliant. Let's see. Did not work.
Yeah, it didn't work. Okay. And I wonder if it's because of the element being display inline by default rather than display block.
All right, so we need to have the FFF logo be like absolute.
Well, you've already got this template with the inner HTML with the slot inside on line 8. You can add an extra element in there, a style element, and the style will only apply inside of the shadow root. Okay? So so if you add a style tag inside of that,
inside of the inner HTML?
Yeah, but before slot, for example.
Okay, like this?
Yeah, like that.
What? All right.
And and then close it off. And then inside of your style, if you do :host, it's a pseudo selector that's saying, I just want to talk about my parent element for a second.
All right, cool.
And inside of the host, if you do like display block or display inline, probably inline block actually would probably be a good thing here.
Oh, yeah. Wow, this is so weird.
Is it?
No, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I mean, basically, this HTML is just going to get dumped inside of the shadow root for us. So now, if we refresh, I don't know, is that going to work?
No. Oh, it did. It did. Oh my god. Wow, right. That's so smooth.
Right now inside.
Wow, that's 60 FPS smooth. I'm just gonna refresh it for a little while because I'm so excited.
You do that. Just let me know when you're done.
I'm just gonna refresh this until like my brain no longer dumps dopamine from the effect.
You take all the time you need. But...
Okay. But I think I'm good.
Inside of DevTools, if you look inside that shadow root again, you'll see that you've got a style which has the host display inline block, and then the slot image and so on.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
So this is just like there's all this HTML, just throw all the gross inside of my shadow root. That's basically all you're saying here. And
like, how does style tags, like, I only use style tags ever in the head element. That's the only instance where I used it. Like, I didn't really know that you could use them in any other place.
You can, and normally any style element that you drop into your page would apply globally. It's only because you've got a style element here inside of a shadow root. It hits the shadow boundary and goes, enough. I won't apply these styles outside of this.
All right, cool.
And also inside of the shadow root, you've got this like these extra additional magic ones like host.
Yep.
There's another one which is a pseudo selector, which is : slotted. So if you actually wanted to style your logo,
Yeah.
you can do that from inside these styles as well if you wanted to do that. So
okay, cool.
So that's kind of it's a thing you can do. So in this case, let's I guess we can go back, and that transform that we've got scale 0 and scale 1.
Yeah.
Absolutely needs a rotation. So if you put on that first one on line 26, if you put a space and then rotate, and then curly brackets, we've got to get a naming for these. Yeah, we've got to get a name for these. Otherwise, we're both
rotate but that's probably dumb. But it's just and then rotate 90 something.
No, let's do 1080.
All right.
Like 3 full turns, but you've also got to tell it what
1080.
Yeah. We're gonna spin it right round like woo. But you've got to give it the units. So it's actually DEG after, and same for the 0. And now.
Oh my god.
I mean, what is not to love about the
that is so
logo?
Cool. That is literally that is actually what we talked about on Twitter. I was just joking around, but this is actually like the old Batman logo.
You know? So the only other thing we could do is, I mean, that is nice levels of cheesy because it's linear, so it doesn't speed up or slow down. It's just like, I'm just going to do the spinny up thing. We can add a bit of slowdown if you want on this.
Oh, yeah, like an easing thing?
Yeah, so after duration in the options for the animate, if you just put in, I think it's timing is the property that you want. And this is the same as a CSS timing function, so we can do cubic Bezier. I'm full. You need to put it as a string. Sorry.
Yeah, cubic. Okay, this Bezier. No, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who is actually able to speak French, which is not me, is going to be like, your pronunciation of Bezier is terrible, Paul, and I will fully accept it is terrible. But we'll go with it. And then you need 4 numbers as in parens after the Bezier. So I would do 0, 0, 0.3, 1.
What not point? Is that points or is that commas?
0, comma.
Oh, 0, comma.
0. 0.3.
All right, thank
No, 0.3.
What? 0.3, like
yes.
that. Oh,
yeah, comma 1.
Yes. Like this is a weird thing. Like I've been speaking English for I have no idea. I'm 34 when you start learning English, like 12 or something. Like for so many years. But when it comes to like talking about numbers, I've done that so little. And whenever I run into these things, like everybody's like, what? This is on a child's level. He doesn't know how to talk about numbers.
When I was in Sweden, one of the first things I noticed was that, so when we delimit our thousands, it's like 1,000, whereas in Sweden it's 1.000, right? Yep. So it makes, and then of course you've got the American where they say point instead of dot, and it's you can get very lost in translation, especially when it comes to this. That particular Bezier will give us a slowdown at the end of our animation. So it should be a little bit faster at the start, and then it should just settle.
All right, let's see how this works. Yeah, it's exactly, yes. I like that. That's a definite improvement, I think.
And I'm still seeing the old version, I think.
Are you?
Yeah. Or it hasn't slowed down very much for me.
Can we just change it to something extreme to see if it works at all?
Try changing the second one to like 0.6. The second one, this one over here.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry, it's 0.6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it changes anything. Do we have anything? Does it show anything? It doesn't show any errors.
Hang on. I'm gonna go and have a look. Right, let me just grab this. And I'm just gonna grab that.
Oh, that's exactly.
I'm gonna do that.
All right.
And let's see if that's. I mean, that should be pretty extreme, if it's gonna do it. I don't see anything different. Do you see anything different?
No, not quite. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Is it cubic Bezier?
Yeah, this could be. Of all the things to trip us up, you know.
this is cubic Bezier function. It seems like it though.
I'm having a look. Reference time. I do it all the time.
Transition time. Is it like
easing? It's easing. Easing is the.
Oh,
it's not timing. It's easing.
easing? Easing. There we go.
Right. Let's try that.
Oh, whoa! That looked cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so like, feels really good.
So the one of the things that we've done here, by the way, which I didn't really kind of talk about on the way through, by using the transforms, there's two things. One, the element doesn't actually change size. So if you change that duration to, I don't know, instead of duration, just change it up to like 100 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Which would be like a couple of zeros on it. No, as in 100 seconds, as in really slow.
Oh.
Sure, that's 10 seconds. One more zero on it will make it 100.
Oh, it's pretty cool. Like,
right.
Okay, then now it's really, really slow.
But
it's coming. Oh, it's not even on my screen yet.
The actual element itself, in terms of other elements on the page, it won't change size, so it wouldn't be pushing other elements out of the way. Right?
Okay.
So as far as the browser is concerned, this is it's still the same size in terms of layout of the rest of the page.
Yeah.
Which is super useful because it means that you're not kind of recalculating where everything is on the page all the time. And the other thing is, because it's a transform, it's something that the browser can basically accelerate typically. So it's normally the way you're going to get 60 frames a second animation. So, and of course it looks awesome, taking your logo and being like, poof, let's spin it up.
Can we add a couple of more keyframes to like have it like do the whole Batman thing of like going in, going back?
So you can do that, absolutely. Just add a third one here, a third keyframe.
Yeah.
And you should be good to go.
So back to 0, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe what's 1080 times by 2? Is it 2160?
Yeah, 2160.
Yeah. So that should. Now, what's interesting is what it does at the end of this animation. It snaps back to the full size version, right?
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. So this is a thing called fill.
Okay.
It's one of the things that you can pass to animate, and it's another one of these properties like the easing. Not timing, well done, Paul. The easing or the duration, you can say fill. And what you're saying is, when you finish this animation, what do I want you to do? And if you do fill, and as a string you say forwards, it says hold that final animation keyframe as the value. So it'll kind of scale up and down, and then it'll hold that final scale 0. So if you add, after the easing, if you add another one that says fill forwards,
like
as
this?
in, no, get rid of that. As in a whole new property in the object.
I did things. Okay, so fill?
Yep, forwards as a string.
Forwards?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
And fill modes are a thing. And that's it. No, just forwards. Just forwards. You're all set. Just like that.
That's it. Okay,
that's
no
it.
more. All right, okay.
And now when we refresh, all being well, it'll go. And then
it just goes. I really like it.
Please add that sound effect.
Yes. Yeah. I might use I'm gonna use. I want this transition. Like I really do. Like it's.
Do you, if you happen to have another image lying around anywhere?
Yeah. What kind of image?
So instead of just the Fun Forum image, just grab another image and replace that Fun Forum one with another image. And I think that kind of explains a little bit about the idea behind the custom elements thing.
Okay. Oh, no. Hang on. You can use this one. There we go.
Okay. What is that image?
Yeah, you can wonder. Like, it's actually hang on, I'll show it.
I mean, I see a piglet
Yes, exactly.
looking at a plate of food.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, one thing that I've done that has increased my happiness so much is to unfollow all of my friends on Facebook. I did that as, like, when Sweden had elections. I just realized that, hey, I'm friends with my friends for completely different reasons than their excellent political commentary, which sucks me in a lot. So I just use this Chrome script to unfollow every single friend, which as a result, the only thing I now see in my Facebook feed is vegan food groups. So it's just people posting pictures of vegan food. That's all I see when I log into Facebook. And vegan food pictures surprisingly often have pictures of animals in them. So here's like vegan food and a piglet looking at it.
That's amazing. Brilliant.
Yep. All right. Well, so that's what you're looking at.
So the short version, I guess, of this for me is that you've been able to just reuse that element around the place really easily by defining your FFF logo. You could have just called it like spinny logo or spinny image or something like that instead of FFF logo, and you can just chuck whatever you need inside there and you get that behavior.
Yeah.
And then you could, kind of going backwards, you could use something like React or Preact and just use the spinny element inside of your app as you have it. And it's kind of useful because if somebody else, I mean, it's highly unlikely in this particular instance, but if somebody else in your team was like, has anybody got the spinny image? I need a spinny image. Oh, in fact, everybody on the team needs a spinny image. You can make it like this and then give it to everybody else, and it kind of works even if they're using Angular or Vue or whatever. So
so we should probably like rename this FFF logo to something that is actually what we're doing. So sort of like Batman spinny thing.
Batman spinny thing.
Because that is more like what we're actually going for. So this is more like the contents of the thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the other thing is your custom element's not defined at the bottom on line 38. You're going to need to replace that over to Batman spinny thing.
That is true. Where is it? Like we're changing this, and we also need to refactor this one to be Bat.
Do you know what you can do? If you just undo that a second.
Yeah.
And you can hit F2 on your keyboard if you can remember where, if you do have
F2.
F2.
Okay, hang on. F2.
Yeah, and it should give you the prompt being like, what would you like to rename this to?
Oh, no, that doesn't work. That's probably... No, this is the hotkey thing. Like,
okay,
it's going to be...
Command-Shift-P, can you do that one?
Yeah.
And then do refactor.
Okay.
Or rename symbol. Rename symbol. That's what it is.
Okay, rename... It doesn't show me anything.
What? Oh, maybe it's because it's in an HTML file. Fine, just do what you're going to do.
Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Okay, here's me using simple tools. I'm just going to do Command D.
Yeah. No, it still
and then
works.
I have, and we're going to call it Batman spinny thing.
And now you've got this reusable element. Happy days. Let's tidy up, get rid of that console log.
Right.
Boop.
There we go. And we have it like, woo!
So we don't need references to any of these anymore either, right? That the slot and the image, they can go.
Nope.
And the image log down here. There you go.
That's
Whatever
awesome.
that is. It's like 18 lines of code and you've got your thing. If you tried to open this in another browser, you'd have to have like the polyfills for custom elements and Shadow DOM, and also the Web Animations API, which is the element.animate. But in terms of just kind of getting going and getting something out there.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
This is very nice, Paul. I like this a lot. I had a lot of fun. But I need, like, since we're over anyway in time, I might as well jump into like a digression of why you want to do web components and as opposed to like a React component.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think if everybody in your team is using React, there's no obvious reason, right? You might just find it easier to just like run React all the way through. If it's just you on your own, whatever, right?
So, but web components is basically sort of like a subset of what React component can do, and it's standardized, right?
Yeah, that's probably that's a fair way. The standardization is, I think, the main thing that I would be looking for in terms of So I've worked on teams where people are using different abstractions. There's like organizational sort of components, as in at the organizational level, there are things that people want to use over and over and over again. But individual teams do things in different ways, right? So somebody's using Angular, somebody's using Vue, somebody's using React. And there isn't standardization at the team level about what abstraction you should be using, what framework you should be using. When that happens, if your leaves are web components, it can make your life a lot easier because you're using the framework as glue, but you're not using it for all the way through. And you don't end up going, oh, you can't use that component because it's built in that particular world. That said, as I say, if that doesn't apply to everybody, plenty of people are like, oh, I just have React. Everybody's using React in our team. Then I think, have at it. Stay in the React world if that makes sense for you. So, yeah, it's the reuse. It's the sort of being able to send it around internally, externally, and all that kind of stuff that helps.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because then we have like this sort of generic way of defining components that is not tied to Angular or React. Like in some cases, it's very nice with React and have it like all the stateful thingamabobs and DOM diffing and shit. But there's lots of cases where you just have simple components that you just want to share that don't need that. And if you're using React, then you're just really limiting the usefulness of it to the people that are using React.
They do work together in that, like, you still want DOM diffing probably and all that stuff. Like they're really nice features and you probably want to keep them. The thing is, what's really nice about the shadow DOM is that it contains the gross, and I really like this. So instead of having like 11 billion divs and all the styles and everything kind of smushed in there and kind of having to pick it apart, you can at least sort of ring fence this area and go, okay, that's the carousel over there, that's it, okay? And I don't really, in a perfect world scenario, I shouldn't need to think about what's inside of there, which is a nicer thing as a consumer of a component, right? So I think there's that side of it as well. It can be easier to think about, I just have a bunch of these things, these units that I plug together. I think you can do it in loads of different ways, though. I mean, it's just that seems to be the natural fallout that I've found of using web components.
That's very nice. Like I've been really skeptical towards them, but now I really see I like the idea of thinking about them as the leaf nodes of your app. I think that we just did it. I think we did. That is the episode.
I never know how to finish an episode. I mean, I do you have a little patter for your little thing that you always say at the end of your episodes?
No, I do.
What's your little patter? Let's compare.
My patter is so before we head off. Remember, if you are finally thinking about stopping your procrastination and learning machine learning, then brilliant.org is the place. Brilliant.org/fun function. You have just watched an episode of Fun Function. I release these every Monday morning, 0800 GMT, but you will forget that, so you can subscribe by clicking here or watch another episode right now by clicking here. I am MPJ.
I'm Paul. Yay!
And this has been Fun Function. Until next Monday morning, stay curious.